Joining me in studio this hour, national trial attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, I don't think it's surprising, 2 hours, 23 minutes in, 2 questions the jury had asked. They wanted to listen to those 911 calls. They wanted to know how the door was damaged. I think they looked at all the details. And what do you think of their verdict?
I think their verdict was proper. I think this jury did their homework. When they came back with those questions, I knew that what they were trying to do. They wanted to recreate the scene of the crime, but not just the scene of the crime, what a reasonably prudent person would believe at the time if they were in the same situation as her. The only way they could do it, the only way they could dig into her state of mind was to look at anything that was close to the scene of the incident. The 911 call, interrogations after, the calls before, all important, but not anything compared to the damage to the door and to the 911 calls after. Why is it important? Because you want to know what would a reasonably prudent person have felt, not done, felt at the time. Because under Florida law, you cannot use deadly force unless you have an imminent fear that someone is going to use deadly force against you, right? You can use regular force, not deadly force. Deadly force is reserved in Florida only if you feel that you are an imminent threat for deadly force. So how would the jury know this? They have to look at her 911 calls and the damage to the door. I'm sure if A.J. Owens was trying to break that door down with a battering ram, they would have came back different. But she had her hands and she was knocking on the door and she got shot. In Florida, you can't do it. She was still outside of her domicile, outside of her house in the castle doctrine. So I think the jury did the right job and they did their homework. They didn't come back in 10 minutes and say guilty.
Right.
You know?
Right. They looked at it again. They made sure they decided. It was a jury of 6. We know that's an option in the state of Florida. This was 6 individuals, unanimous decision. You know, and I just want to go through quickly the manslaughter definition in the state of Georgia. An intentional act, they determined it was, in Florida, that was neither excusable, which it was not, nor justified, and that it resulted in death. So they found it was not justified, it was not excusable. Now I want to juxtapose that with really quickly listening to this defendant, now convicted of first-degree manslaughter, but to this defendant telling the police during her interrogation that, hey, I feared for my life. Let's listen together.
I really feared for my life. I mean, honest to God, I was like, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, I'm not supposed to be getting nervous or anything like this because I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so they're like, just you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything. And this woman just keeps antagonizing me. She's got the kids calling me. I'm a doctoral degree. Do not talk to me like I am one of your peers.